Lots of my customers ask me, how do you cook the perfect steak? And I always tell them, you need a hot pan. There's nothing worse than putting your steak into a cold pan. You need to hear that real sizzle, that shh. That's gonna give you a really nice crust, and that's where all the flavor comes in. Good bit of caramelization. Also, people ask, how do you know when your steak's done? So I've got this little tip, which is basically where you use your fingers to find out the doneness. So when steak cooks, it starts off nice and soft, and as it gets more well done, it gets tougher. So a good little test is if you put your finger and thumb together and squeeze there, that's your rare steak. Then you go to the next finger, that's medium rare. Next finger, that's medium. And then right down to your little pinky, and that's well done. So you can feel the difference. So when you're cooking a steak, it's really important just to keep checking. So give it a prod. If it's feeling still quite soft and you want it well done, keep cooking it. Now obviously once it's cooked to your likeness and you've got plenty of colour on it, you've got to take it out of the pan and you've got to rest it. Now this is really important when cooking a steak. The worst thing you can do is take it off the pan and start hacking into it. Don't do that. You've got to give it like 5 to 7 minutes to rest. It makes it much nicer to eat. The other thing that people always do is they under-season. There's nothing worse than a lovely bit of steak that hasn't got enough seasoning on it. Now this can be quite simply just done with salt and pepper, good bit of crap black on there, or here we've got this nice dried herb and paprika. So this would work really well on, something like the flat iron steak before you put it on the barbecue would be really good. One of my favorites is a nice Asian marinade. Now what this can do is if you put this over a cheaper cut steak, something like the flat iron or maybe a center cut for a few hours, it can help to marinate it and also break it down and make it a bit more tender. It's also going to give it loads of great flavor. Or you can finish it with a savory butter. So here we've got a nice tarragon and shallot one. Just pop that on your steak while it's resting. That's going to melt all over it lovely. It's going to give it that real nice restaurant feel. So there you go. We've got a steak for everyone. There's enough to whet everyone's appetite. If you still want to know a bit more information, you can go to our website, which is simply beef and lamb, and then loads of great tips on cooking and recipes and all that kind of stuff. The Quality Standard Scheme provides you with high levels of assurance about the meat you buy, and it is independently inspected right from the farms that the meat comes from through to the shops and restaurants it is sold in.